friends with an awful lot of governments that do horrific things. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, for example, that great bastion of democracy and freedom, that orders people to be chopped up in their own embassy, like in their embassy in another country. If you know the story of Jamal Khashoggi, tricking him and then literally chopping him up. These are our friends. These are our allies in liberation. I know it's discouraging to be at a time where it's not even so much that you're pushing against people who really love this war, but people who have checked out. I understand that 100%, but you're part of a tradition. You're part of a long-standing movement that started before you were born and when I was born. You see that statue? You see that statue right there, the Civil War Memorial? That is in the opening scene of a movie that was made by a Scranton filmmaker, Emilio D'Antonio. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of him, but he made a classic anti-war documentary called In the Year of the Pig. And it starts here in Scranton. He's from Scranton, and he basically wanted to include a scene of that to start off the film. It was a film that really exposed the hypocrisy and the absurdity of war and our war in South Vietnam. You're part of that tradition. One of the things that you're part of as a result is there's a responsibility that we have, a responsibility to tell the truth about the horrors of violence and the idiocy of it. Who profits from this war? Who profits from it?
Not us.
There's not ordinary people like ourselves, not ordinary working people at all. All the death that we're raining down on Iran, all the death that we're raining down in Lebanon, who's winning out in this?
Not us. Not us.
What I'd say now, I don't want to take up too much of your time. You've heard a whole lot of better speakers than me for one. But one of the things I would ask you to do is to think about joining organizations that really stand for an end to not just unjust wars like this, but the system of capitalism that perpetuates it. I'm a member of the Northeast Pennsylvania chapter of the Democratic Socialists of America. Some of you might have heard of it. Some of you are like, that sounds really long. But I'd ask you to check us out. We have plenty of people here who could tell you about that, or just look up dsa.org and learn more about us. That we see the ties between anti-imperialism and the struggles in terms of crazy ass wars like the one that we're in, sorry for the swearing, with the kind of political system and economic system that leaves so many impoverished and so few gaining more and more wealth. Where I want to finish today, speaking of being a part of a tradition, is a poem by a poet that I don't know if you've ever heard of, Denise Levertov. That a few of you might have heard of her, many of you will be like, who is that? She was a poet that wrote a great deal about opposition to the Vietnam War. And one of the things that she really captures in this poem that we're in today is the fact that we are this superpower. We are the superpower that's causing so much destruction, for profiting so few people, and yet so many people are tuned out. So here it is. It's called tenebrae. That means shadows in Latin. Heavy, 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 hand in heart, we are at war. Bitterly, bitterly at war. And the buying and selling buzzes at our heads, a swarm of busy flies, a kind of innocence. Gowns of gold sequins are fitted, sharp glinting. What harsh rustlings of silver moire there are to remind me of shrapnel splinters. And weddings are held in full solemnity, not out of desire but of etiquette. The nuptial pomp of starched lace, a grim innocence. Keep in mind, this is the 60s. They'd be on their phones. She'd be writing about people being on their phones now. And picnic parties returning from the beaches, burning with stored sun in the dusk. Children promised a TV show when they get home. Fall asleep in the backs of a million station wagons. They used to have those. Think SUVs now. Sand in their hair, the sound of waves quietly persistent at their ears. They are not listening. Their parents at night dream and forget their dreams. They wake in the dark and make plans. Their sequin plans glitter into tomorrow. They buy, they sell. They fill freezers with food. Neon signs flash their intentions into the years ahead. And at their ears, the sound of the war. They are not listening, not listening. Let us listen today and act together to stand up against this war. Thank you.
Oh yeah, Jeremy, let's give it up for Jeremy. Woo. All right, we're gonna keep it going. Guys, please give it up for Frankie from local DSA.